In this Get Ready With Me, I'll show you how I went from this to this. So grab something to drink, enjoy the music, and we'll get right to it. I'm all ready to start. I'm actually going to clip my hair and begin by putting some lip balm on. This is one of my favorites from Nivea. This is the one that is completely unscented. Just like a little balm on my lips before I start. So I always start with a corrector because I have the tear troughs under my eyes and they're a little bit dark. I know they're not as blue purple as some people have, but there's enough blue in them that I like to correct them, and I'm almost out of this product. I found another concealer brush that I really like. I've been using the Sonia Kashuk, but this is an e.l.f. concealer brush. And of course, all products are listed in the description box below. Lately, I've been putting in my videos how to open up the description box because I get comments from people saying, where are the products? So if you're watching on a phone, you need to click the little V and that will open the description box and you can scroll down and get it on the phone. If you're watching on a computer, you need to scroll down a little bit on the left side and click the words show more, and that opens up the description box. So I'm just gonna start with a little bit of this and dab it into the corners. I also end up warming it up with my fingers. And then I'll also take this product and I'll put it wherever I see some dark spots, which I have on just a few places. But when I was a child, I had freckles, lots of freckles. And of course, back then we were all trying to get rid of our freckles and putting lemon juice on our faces, and which is vitamin C, which is interesting. So I don't have as many now. Still have them on my arms, still have them on my nose, but of course now I'm getting, well, been getting the age spots. So being 60, I think because of my skincare regimen over the last 20 years, 20 to 25, I'm not having as many dark spots as I would have had if I hadn't been using everything that I'm using. But I still have some discoloration, and I might go back with a little bit more of this product. This stuff is really magic. It really helps to conceal that sunken in look that I have and to hide some other discolorations that I have as well. But hopefully you can see that through the camera, which is really great if you can, because then you can see the after where I take care of this stuff. Now, what I'm going to do next is use the Clinique foundation called Even Better. I like this color. It's a lot like my favorite Emlin color. It's more cool tone, but they have so many colors. So right now, if you go into a store and they're not allowing you to try out some of the samples, what are they called, testers, ask the store if they'll take a return. So I would suggest that you buy 2 or 3 colors. I'm like, you know, sometimes you just have to do that. Take them home, put them on, test them in different light in your home, different times of day, and decide which color is best for you. But this is the color called Breeze. So if you are one of those people like me who you try different foundations and you buy the coolest tone color you can, but it just looks yellow or orange on you, this one could really work for if your skin is fair like mine. But they have plenty of other cool tones that get into darker tones than my skin. So I'm just gonna dab it around. I like to be really careful around my eyes just because, you know, I just put on all that nice product and I like to get it close to my brows. And then I'm gonna use a brush. Now, I've tried Beauty Blender with this and I don't like how it looks on me, I think the brush is the best. And I use a brush that you are going to love, especially because you're going to love the price. The brush is called the e.l.f. powder brush, but it's basically a flat brush. I call it a stipple brush because in painting, that's what we call a flat brush. So a little bit about me. Years ago, when I left a job that I hated, I had learned to stencil and do faux finishing. So for a while professionally, I faux finished people's homes, so walls, and I did stencil. So in stenciling, we use stipple brushes. So the nice thing about this brush is it evenly distributes and buffs the face, evenly distributes the foundation, but it doesn't get product on the brush. I love that because I don't like when I put product on my face and then whatever brush or applicator I'm using picks up a ton of product. So I can buff that out. So this Clinique foundation is, it's got a little bit of a glow, but not too much. So at my age, I like a little bit of a glow. I don't like a dry feeling. And that is all I'm doing with that. Now I've been experimenting with doing some concealer anyway. Usually I wouldn't put concealer on because I don't want to emphasize the trough, but many of you don't have the trough. So I have been trying different kinds. So today I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape. This isn't a light color. I'll have the color below. Hang on, I'll tell you what it is. This is Fair Beige 12B. And I am going to use a beauty blender for this, and I've already dampened it. So I'm going to just put 2 dots on like this. And it only works for me when I really get the water out of here. So I get warm water, I squeeze it out in the sink, and then I roll it in a towel and really squeeze it inside the towel. I'm only doing a couple drops or a couple touches with the doe foot, and I'm just going to pat it in here, and I'm even going to put a little bit on my eyelid from the beauty blender. And this is a Real Techniques beauty blender that I absolutely love because I had a couple other beauty blenders that were just really thick and didn't have much give. This one has a lot of give, and I'm so glad I bought it because I thought all of them were just really tough and didn't have a lot of give. Okay, so that helped to brighten up the eye a little bit without overemphasizing my tear trough. But now I'm going to set it, and I did another video showing how I did this. I absolutely love this. Is from that lady on TikTok that some of you have heard about. I'm going to use this Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. You can use whatever setting spray you like, and I'm just going to spray a little bit on the back of my hand. Then I'm going to wipe off my ring finger, do a little bit on here, and then I'm just going to touch it under here. And I'm going to keep patting it in place until it feels dry, and then do a little bit more on this side. And just because all day, especially in allergy season, there's a lot going around, I'm touching my nose a lot, so I'm just going to do my nose as well. So this is just one step, and now as I'm patting, it's getting drier and drier, and it's pretty much dry. And now I'm going to use the NYX finishing powder. This is inexpensive as well, with a brush that it's an e.l.f. brush, but oddly e.l.f. also calls this a concealer brush. It's a Flawless Concealer Brush. Don't use this for concealer. So I'm just going to dip a little bit into there, tap it off, and just very lightly tap it on, and it makes this beautiful finish that's not cakey and that helps it last all day. I just love it. Now I'm ready for a little contour. I'm going to use the Anastasia contour stick in the color Mink. It's not as brown orange, it's more taupey brown. And I'm just going to put a really skinny line under my cheeks, like that. I'm going to put a wider one down here where I have the jowls, but not all the way to the ear. And I'm going to put a little bit up here, just the skinny line. So I'm just using the edge of the product. And then I'm going to use this EcoTools buffing brush. I have two of these, one for light colors and one for dark. So I'm just going to buff this in here and kind of get a nice hollow under my cheek, then buff out the top. So it's just a tiny bit of color. And then I'm going to take the lower one and buff it toward my ear. Get my earring out of the way. The idea being that you're not going to notice my jowl area as much because I've darkened it a little bit, but just bringing it toward the ear. Now for a little bit of highlighter, my favorite is the Emlin Under Eye Concealer for this. This thing lasts for just years. And I'm actually going to put a little bit on the inner upper corner of my eye, and I'm going to use my same e.l.f. concealer brush. And I'm just going to dab a little bit in here and dab a little bit in here. Okay. And then I'm just, for right now, I'm going to use my ring finger and blend that out, but I'll deal with my eyes later. But it just helps to brighten that area a bit. And then the other place I like to lighten is the sides of my nose. For this, I'm just going to use my finger in the pot, and you can use any light color highlighter you want. I would suggest something that doesn't have any kind of shimmer. So this one that I have is no shimmer. It's just a lighter color than my skin. And I'm putting it at the sides of my eyes. And then I'm going to use another buffing brush that I use for light colors, and I'm just going to buff that out. Buff out the edges. This lasts all day. And when I see myself in a mirror later on, once I started doing this color, I thought, oh, I really like that. It gives a youthful appearance having that light color right there. So now I'm ready for some powder, and I don't go for a lot of powder. I just need to matte down a little bit, and I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte. This is so affordable. And I'm using a large fluffy brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to go for my cheeks, little on my chin, and sometimes I do my nose, especially when I'm on camera, because I notice it just makes, if my nose is shiny, it just doesn't look right. And again, depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing when I'm on camera, that sound you hear is my dog. All right, and that's all I'm going to do for that. I'm not doing bronzer today, but I might do that if I'm not doing concealer. And then for blush, I'm using the Clinique Cheek Pop in the color Nude Pop. This is a warm tone color. I'm using an old brush from Japanesque, so I like a medium-sized brush to do my blush. And I've noticed when I'm on camera, I don't need much blush. Somehow the camera shows a ton of color, and I might do a little bit down here. I see brush pieces coming out on my face. To keep those little tiny brushes or brush pieces off my face, where I normally put on my makeup, which isn't here in my filming room, I keep a very blunt pair of tweezers, and I use those blunt tweezers to pull the little hairs off, because sometimes brushing them like this, they just stay in my face. Now I'm ready for eyeliner. I'm using the Lancome Kohl Pencil in Black Coffee, which is a very dark brown. And I have to use a 10X mirror for this these days. I love the Lancome Kohl. But I do need two hands to pull out that little end and get as close to the lash line as possible. I'm using a 5X mirror over here. Now, I like to just touch that liner with a little bit of, in this case, dark brown or medium brown powder with a tiny little brush. So I'll have links to tiny brushes below. And when I get to my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Lorac Pro Palette 3. So I'll just choose a brown in here that's matte. And I'm just going to dab it onto the top right over that. What my thinking is, in the past, before I started doing this, when my eyes are open, sometimes that liner would touch the skin up here, and putting some powder on this keeps that from touching there and doing things I don't want it to do. So I'm using, actually, they have a really, really dark brown, and I used that the other day and I didn't like how dark it was. So I'm using the next brown shade. Then, since I'm here, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to do this brown right here. That is more of a medium brown with the same little tiny brush. And I'm going to line under my eye with it. Now I'm ready for my brows. I'm going to be using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This is in their color taupe, I believe. It has a nice small point, very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. After I finish, I like to take the spoolie end and just go through the brow to make it look less done. I can get rid of dark spots that I put too much product on, for example. Now I'm ready for my shadow. As I said, I'm going to use the Lorac Pro Palette 3. These are all warm tones. It's mostly matte at the top, and I was going to say sparkle shimmer at the bottom, and I'm mostly a matte girl anyway. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which in this palette would have been nice if they had included a lot more of that, which is this one right here. Yeah. Always like a big pan of the light colors. Those are what I run out of first. I'm going to just put that all over. Then for my transition shade, I'm going to try this one today. Sometimes I'll mix two, like if one is too light and one is too dark. The trick is getting them equally on both sides then if I mix colors. I'm putting that above the crease so that when I open my eyes and I look at you, you can see a little bit of the transition shade peeking out. This is why I like a transition shade, and this is why I like a lot of choices of light colors in palettes because I run out of those first. I would really like to work with some makeup companies to advise them on putting a palette together for mature skin. I would say over 50, but hey, over 40. And I am over 60, so yeah. Let's see. This might be okay. I'm gonna take it up a little bit more on the outer corner and blend it. I'm gonna go with a lighter eye today, I think. So I'm not gonna go so dark. I'm gonna use this medium brown here and use a tiny little angled brush, and I'm gonna go into the crease, the outer part of the crease, and down, and bring it out just a little bit. And sort of a triangle shape. Just really getting it into the crease without going crazy, which is why I like the little brush. And then I'm going to blend it. And then because there are so many fun colors in here, I'm going to take another little brush, and on the outer part of the mobile lid, I'm going to put one of these shimmer shades. All right. I'm going to do this one. Oh, they are named. Rose Bronze, this is. Let's see how this one looks. So I'm just going to put it on the outer part of the mobile lid. A little bright in here, so it's hard to tell how much I'm putting on there. Lorac does tend to have quite a bit of fallout, so keep that in mind when you're using your Lorac palettes. All right, now I'm ready for the rest of the mobile lid. I'm going to use one of the lighter colors. Let's see, I'll use the second one in from the bottom. That does have a name, Almond Pearl. And I'm just dabbing that here. And I'll blend those two in a moment. And then I'll brush away any little extra pieces that you might see that I can't see. And I like this Real Techniques brush for this, where I just brush away. All right, then I'm going to check it. See if I like what I see. Let's see. Oh, not really. So I'm going to do some other blending over here. Also, we can take that very lightest color again and just go over some areas that are a little overzealous on the outer, which on a younger person can look great, but on me can look wrong. All right, now I'm ready for mascara. I'm going to use the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, my favorite, and I will speed this up. For my lower lashes, I like the Maybelline Full and Soft. It's just really easy to apply without making a mistake. Before I do my lips, I'm going to take the clip out of my hair. I have 3 lip colors today to apply one on top of the other. I'm going to blot my lips off first to get that balm off. So I'm starting with a MAC matte color in the color taupe. It's kind of a good fall color. It's actually quite creamy for being the matte, and I love the MAC prices, and it smells great. So I'm going to blot this, and on top of that, I'm going to put the KKW Pink One. I'm in love with this lipstick. You can put it on top of any color. So anything bright, anything bold, just to tone it down and give it this really pretty look. And then last, I could stop right here because it's so creamy. The KKWs too. This is the MAC Lip Gloss in the color Please Me. Just for a little bit more shine. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and with the music in the background, I hope you chilled out with me a little bit. Check out one of my other videos by clicking its image on the right side of your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.